I recently started playing the lottery, and here's why. Really, it came down to aligning myself with the energy of abundance. And let me explain how we got here. Growing up in my parents' house, they were religious and they are of the mindset that, the love of money is the root of all evil. But really, it was sort of shortened up to just money is the root of all evil. And this also translated into a mindset of scarcity whereby they would be like, hey, we don't have money for this, or it's not part of the budget, or, there would be emotions shown around spending money that I wasn't even conscientious of until I became much older, left Christianity, went on my own spiritual journey, and initially followed that mindset of like, the money is the root of all evil. And I've sort of like, it's been a subconscious pattern that I've been working to remove. And over the past few years, my spiritual journey has shown me that tuning into the abundance of money and giving money uh, positive attention and paying attention to it is actually a very spiritual way of connecting with the energy of money, which is essentially the life force of much of what happens on earth, right? Doing things, having experiences, going places, being able to meet people, use technology, like all of these things are components of trade and commerce and value. And that's really what money is, the material expression of, is exchange of value. And it's basically an end result. That's what I've come to understand, is that in order to be with a large sum of money or receive regular large sums of money, there must be an exchange provided. And we often belittle what that exchange can be and how value it is for people, because we tend to perceive things from the how valuable is this to me versus the value and impact that it has on someone else and the impact that they have going forward and on other people. So the universe places your value on those lasting trailing implications. But humans, we tend to just do on the direct connection between one person and the next. And so tuning into that state of like large sums are comfortable with me. I'm comfortable with large sums of money coming to me easily and quickly. There's a really good um, manifestation slash large sums of money, what is it, affirmation video by this guy Brian Scott. He runs a YouTube channel called The Reality Revolution. Definitely recommend checking it out. And a lot of his work was really a big component of moving forward on my spiritual journey with abundance and money, and seeing the changes in money come into my life, the ebbs and flows that come with that. And that's been a really exciting journey. And so recently, how has this brought me to playing the lottery, right? Well, it's not necessarily like, hey, if I win the lottery, then amazing, right? Like large sums of money come to me easily and quickly, right? At the same time, I'm also cognizant of the fact that what I'm actually trying to do when I play the lottery is only do so under certain criteria and align myself with the energy of money and abundance, right? And larger ones than I can practically conceive in this moment. And so I only play when the lottery is at pretty much the max. It might be like a 5% range there, but in Ontario, at the moment where I live on for the moment, um, I think it's like 80 million or 70 million. That's the max. And then there's like a bonus one that goes up to 18 million. I think it's 80 and 18 million is the max. Um, so usually around like the very, very max of the limit, then I will play once, maximum once per week. And most of the time it's more like every 2 weeks. And it's not so much about I'm buying this, hoping and wishing that I win the lottery, because that's coming from a place of lack. It's I'm buying the ticket and then here's a key part that I do. When I buy the ticket, I hold it in my pocket every day. I don't always buy a ticket, but when I do, I worked really hard this year on always carrying money in my pocket, and to do the same basically with the lottery tickets. And I've just put in that practice to get comfortable having money around me, get comfortable with money being, or get me comfortable with money and get money comfortable with me, demonstrating to myself that I can be in places where I could spend it, but I don't. And then there's another practice I've started to do as well. When I see something that I want, that when I'm out and about, I put my hand in my pocket, I physically touch the money, and I visualize myself giving the amount necessary. So, say I have 50 bucks in my pocket, but this thing is 125. Then I visualize taking out 50, taking out another 50, and then taking out 25, and just mentally visualizing giving that to the universe, and then visualizing whatever that product or service is coming into my life. And that's been very fascinating as well. And then when I get the lottery tickets, I do the same. So I just hold it on my person, and multiple times throughout the day, I'll just put my hand on it and be like, hey, I'm touching, say $98 million on one single piece of paper. Like when you think about that, because something I've really been processing lately, the past couple of years, is pretty much everything in your life that you want. The key, I say that both as a pun and as a direct fact, to it is willing to fit in your hand. So let me give you an example. Um, you want to buy a house. Okay, well, you're not going to hold a house in your hand, but you'll hold the keys to the house and the deed or title to the house. You want a car or a boat or a jet, you can hold the keys to those things. You want a large amount of money, you can hold a lottery ticket, a bank statement. You can hold your phone with a bunch of notifications. You can, hold a check. You could hold a contract. Like, there's lots of ways that you can see these things. You like just to think, hey, I'm gonna have $98 million. To think of it as a pile of cash is really hard to grasp unless you've seen videos that put that into perspective for you. But even still, it's much easier to think, hey, say you want, I don't know, let's just use something obvious and bright and shiny like a Ferrari. You want a Ferrari? Well, like visualize having the Ferrari outside in your driveway and driving it and all of that. But I think one of the easiest things to start with is just visualizing the key fob in your hand or on your keychain, or getting a fake one on your keychain just to like see that sign there, right? Your brain doesn't know it's fake or real, and it's aligning you with that state. So when I play the lottery, I tend to play at the upper limit, and then I buy once, usually every 2 weeks. If I don't buy every 2 weeks even, but again, it's got to be at the upper limit and once uh, every 2 weeks, and then I just hold on to it and I just feel it in my pocket. And I basically what I realize is, um, but I think it costs like $6. So I'm paying $6, which is just I'm just letting go of the money. Hey, here if somebody else wins, amazing, right? I'm happy to contribute to you and participate in this life-changing corner in your life, and I hope that you're able to use the money wisely and preserve it. And then I also think, wow, it cost me $6 to hold on to a piece of paper or have access to a piece of paper that's worth up to $98 million, and act as a practice for me to put myself into that state and to say, wow, every time I put my hand on this piece of paper, I'm tuning into the money of $98 million, and I can visualize it because it's in my hand. Like this could be the winning ticket. And just allowing myself to get excited about that. Like, think about that, right? Sometimes when I'm at work or, with my kid or out shopping or whatever, I'll put my hand in my pocket and be like, whoa, I have the winning ticket for $98 million in my pocket. Like, think about how you would actually react. How would you feel? What would you do? You would most likely lose the significance of everything around you immediately, in the sense of like your job, or doing day-to-day chores, or certain health conditions because of financial roadblocks, or whatever state of life you're in. Here's something I really, really embrace, and this is a key component. If you take nothing else away from this video, take this. Money won't buy you happiness, but it will solve pretty much all your problems. And happiness is based on happenings. And if your problems aren't around, your happenings tend to be better. So it's not to say that if you win the lottery, you're not going to have any problems, because you'll have different problems, and chances are it'll be $98 million kind of problems that you're not familiar with dealing with. But recognizing, I think especially in the spiritual community, there's a component of shaming people and spiritual elitism for being like, oh, you don't need money, the universe can deliver things in so many ways. But it's also like, yes, and through money the universe can deliver everything as well. And like, fact is, money is a faster way of manifesting things more often than people doing so on their own, unless they're highly attuned and skilled at doing that. But even still, just saying, okay, like, here, money can come out of thin air and it can rapidly change your life. So just being open to that possibility instead of shutting that possibility down, that money can come in and solve your problems, and being like, I got to wait for some other spiritual figure or natural process or hard labor or long period of time. Why shut down large sums of money coming to you easily and effortlessly that can solve your problems? Like, don't don't keep your problems because you think that money won't solve them. It most likely will help you solve them more quickly than many other ways. So, hey, maybe if you're in a position where it's not going to financially compromise you and you're not desperate for it, right? Because if you're desperately like, oh, I got to win the lottery, and it's the only way that my life's problems are going to be solved, you're not going to win the lottery, and you'll probably lose what you have, right? And actually, there's various religious texts that say this, that to those that have, more will be given, and to those that have not, even what they have will be taken away. And it's like, happiness attracts happiness, abundance attracts abundance, money attracts money, wealth attracts wealth. Like, you got to put yourself in that state first. And yeah, that's something to do. So I look at playing the lottery at specific times and limited amounts of time per month, and just using it as a practice to conscientiously put myself into that state. And right now I recognize, like, this is an action I need to take to help me get better at it. It's not a permanent solution. It's just a stepping stone, an early stage along the way to saying, hey, like, before I needed to have this lottery ticket to feel like $98 million. But then I got used to being in that state, and I started seeing abundance come to me. I can just be in that state. I don't need the lottery ticket anymore. So it's definitely a process. But even for me, just to recognize, like, hey, this is a nice stepping stone to get started with putting yourself into that state of like large sums. Like, for me now, it's not hard to grasp 5,000 or 10,000 or $20,000, but to grasp $98 million and the impact that would have and what I would do takes practice. So maybe if you're on your spiritual journey and you're wondering how you feel about money, it's definitely something that I say you should cultivate your own relationship with money. And the best way to test any of this is to pay attention to money. Money flows where attention goes. And it's very simple. So if you're paying attention to your budget, if you're making efforts to invest, if you're looking at new ways of creating money, if you're looking at ways to, here's a key change I've made. Instead of saying save money as in cut back, because people usually say, oh, like, no, I'm not going to do that, I'm saving money, or I'm going to buy this one because it's on sale. Don't buy stuff because it's on sale. Buy the stuff that you need, but don't buy the stuff that you don't need just because it's on sale now. And just being like, I think about how I was raised. The focus was generally on saving money, not like, there was an emphasis to, yeah, save money as in like put some aside, but that was much less of a focus than to not spend so much and always look for ways to cut back, only buying things on sale, only getting discount stuff, that kind of thing. If you only search for discounts, you'll always need discounts. Facts, right? Because you're basically saying, like, I don't value these things at the normal rate. I don't see myself as capable of paying for the full price for this. You come from a price perspective rather than a value perspective. I buy the things that I buy, even if that means I get less of them, because some things I choose to buy a little bit higher quality or something that's just a little bit better. And so I'm okay not getting as much stuff because I'm focusing and concentrating on things that I really want. Some stuff I buy cheap, some stuff I buy on sale for sure. But other things that are like important to me, I don't. Right. And that's just part of that's why I changed my budget to priority list instead of budget. And, a lot of this, case in point that I just explained, when you change your vocabulary on things, you can rewrite your life by changing your vocabulary. And that's a powerful way to look at things. So whether that's how you name a budget or changing your perspective on money or making money or, aligning with the energy of a high amount of abundance that's hard to grasp like the lottery, it's definitely a journey to be conscientious about your relationship with money and see how your life changes. So I hope that you found this helpful. If you're a yoga teacher and you're looking to make that change with your relationship to money and business, and you'd like to share your message of how yoga transformed your life with other people, and enabling you to have more abundance, to feel more prosperity, to allow yourself to have more of a freedom lifestyle and to enjoy some travel and good food, then I've got a webinar. Link is in the bio or the comments down below. And you can watch the webinar. It's free. You just have to register with your email. And I'll show you the mindset shifts that come with, going from being a yoga teacher who's offering group classes, private classes, donation classes, community classes, maybe a workshop here and there, maybe you're thinking about retreats, over to, hey, here's how you can build yourself a lasting presence online, offer something that you can make once and sell over and over again, and give you a pathway to having channels for more financial abundance to come into your life while simultaneously helping people and without burnout. So if that sounds like it's of interest to you, click the link either in the comment below or the link in the bio, and I will show you how to do that in the free 30-minute webinar. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.